this is Diane from Teach Pre-K, and this week I got a little question. I had a little question from one of my subscribers about how I do my small group time. Um, and I have a really bad habit of just assuming everybody does these things the same way or knows how to do them because I have my way of doing it and have done it for so long. So I'm going to share with you what I do for my small groups. I've already kind of gone through like the order of my day in my classroom. So we'll do like a little morning kind of meet and greet, little really loose social time that we call mini centers. And it's just toys on three tables, or the kids can read books until everybody arrives. Everybody gets some talking out, gets used to being in the room again, gets used to us again, kicking our day off right by just having a little bit of relaxed fun with each other. Then we clean up and go to circle time. Circle time, we do, some counting and number instruction, letter instruction. We do our little name of the day. We'll usually read a book that's theme specific. I like to do a little nonfiction, just one of those cute little like scholastic informational books or something like that. And then we talk about what our centers are going to be, like what the teachers are going to do for their small group. There's usually myself and another aide. Sometimes there's two aides, so sometimes there's three teacher-led small groups, which are usually a math, a literacy, and like an art, science, or fine motor. Those are kind of clumped together. But that's just what we do every day. And I don't have set groups. I don't have like, oh, the triangle group all comes to my center, or the blue group all goes to, my aid center. I don't. I sometimes will dismiss the kids, especially if it's a day where I've changed all the centers, and I'll just say, get up quietly, go choose a center, and we will slowly pick people to come to our groups. Or I'll say, hey, I'm going to take, Susie, John, Timmy, and Viola to my center. So I've got like maybe a 4 kid. I usually do four kids, small groups. Sometimes I'm strategic if it's like a literacy concept that I know some kids really know well. Sometimes I'll put 2 that really know it well and 2 that need a little bit of help so they can work together, and the ones that really know it can kind of help teach it as well as myself. Or I'll get kids who all know the concept, so I'm just guiding and supervising, and then I'll save a group of kids that don't really understand the concept, because then I know that I've got to really teach the concept to them, and I might take them in groups of 1, 2, or 3 instead of a group of 4. So that's how we do that. And then how the kids that don't get chosen for a teacher center, because I have either 12 to 14 kids or 16 kids, and if there's only 2 teachers taking 4 kids, that leaves a lot of kids milling around the free centers, just making a choice. They come and go when they're done. For math and literacy, if they are a center that is guided by the teacher, they are all there for the duration, and then they go, and we get 4 more who were in our free center circulating. And we, sometimes strategically pick those groups, sometimes we don't. It just really depends on what the activity is. If it's more of a center that needs a little bit of guidance, but the kids can do it independently, when they're done, they go, we pick another person, etc., etc. For art centers, for sure, I do not keep anyone there for a set amount of time. I don't use a timer, nothing like that. It's very free flowing. Kids move in, kids move out. That way, when kids come to me and they say, I am never going to get to go to that dramatic play center because I only let 4 kids in at a time. I have a little necklace system. I'll say, oh, I'm going to call some people who are there over to my group. And they understand that that means that 2 people will be leaving that group, and they'll get a chance to play there. So it really works out that everybody gets a chance to play in the free choice centers, and everybody goes to our small group centers. And at every teacher center, I have a list of the kids' first name, and it's laminated in a little square, and I let the kids have a dry erase marker, find their name, cross it off. So it's like a name recognition at every center too. So it just adds a little layer of more learning on top of it. And that helps me keep track of who's been there, and it helps them find their name, crossed it out. They love it. They think it's so cool because we do it the first few weeks until they start recognizing their name a little bit more, and then they get a chance to do it and they feel like they're the teacher, and it's great. So when kids are absent, I'll have some of my kids who know other kids' names to find, hey, can you find Oliver's name? It starts with an O, and they'll find it and mark it off too. So we just, move in and out freely so that that center time at least feels like it is their choice, because a lot of kids will hear what center we're doing and they're like, oh, sign me up. I want to make the macaroni dinosaur, or I love doing rhyming centers, or oh my gosh, I love this center because we go out and find dinosaurs with flashlights in the hallway, and we found ghosts in the hallway a couple of months ago at Halloween, and it's such a fun center. So they really feel like they're in charge of what they're doing, and they feel super independent. A lot of times we'll get kids who just like don't want to come to our center, and do I make them? Yeah, I do, but I will say, okay, I will give you one more minute, and it's usually 2-3 minutes or whatever to play where you are, but then you have to come. Everyone has to do my center today. There are certain times when it's like, I know the kid can do this. He's, hyper focused on building things with his Legos. He's going to enjoy his day more by staying and building with his Legos. He knows how to count to 10. I know that. So I might say, okay, I'm going to let him have a pass today. But you've got to really know your kids. You've really got to know where they are. A lot of times I take notes on some of the centers that I'm doing, especially if they are an independent center. And I will be like, oh, like Johnny really gets this concept. He didn't have this concept last time we did it. Or I'll do kind of an informal assessment, which is really helpful for me at the beginning of the year as I'm trying to figure out where they are. Or if I, kind of tag a child as, wow, he really needs to at least be able to count to 5. We've got to get this counting thing down. I'll take notes on that until I feel good about where they are. So then once all the teachers, if it's 2 or 3, once we've gone through our list of kids, we kind of check up on each other and see where each other are. We don't finish at the same time, which is kind of great because someone finishes, they kind of clean up their center, watch the kids a little bit more. So as more kids are in free centers, they have more supervision. It works out beautifully. And then if another teacher finishes, that's another person who can maybe, while the other teacher's supervising, help set out our snack or help get kids, ready to clean up, things like that. I just find that it helps the day run a lot smoother. I will say when I first started, we did a timer system and a group. Everyone had a shape, and they wore a shape necklace, and the triangles would be at this center for 15 minutes and this one for 15 minutes. It was terrible. I absolutely hated it. Some centers, the kids were done way before 15 minutes and they were just sitting at the table. Other times they needed more time to do their art project, or they just wanted more time at that center, or it wasn't enough time to really, let us see that they understood what they were doing. So I will never go to something like that again. Yeah, I mean, it's great. For sure you get all the kids there. For sure they're all getting the same amount of time, but they don't all need that. I find with more of a loose, free-flowing, finish when you're done type of thing, they get to spend the time that they would like. It's a lot less stressful for the kids. They spend more time in the free centers, and if they're learning through play, that is just as important, and you have to keep that in mind. They are learning at your sensory bin. They are learning at your magnet board. They are learning at your Play-Doh table. They are learning at dramatic play. They are learning at the block center. They are learning at the art center. It's all learning. And if you really start to remember that, you won't feel as stressed out about making sure all the kids get to your center and they all get the same amount of time. It just won't be a worry, because the best thing is the learning through the play. That's what we're there for. And you might be in a more academic program. I don't know, and that might not work for you. I'm just telling you what works the best for me, and what I have seen, because I have done it other ways, works the best for the kids too. It just makes such a more calm day, a less stressful day. It still gets chaotic because preschool is going to be chaotic, but it just feels better. When you're a preschool or pre-K teacher, it takes a ton of energy, and I feel like if you're forcing kids to be someplace that they don't want to be for a certain amount of time, gosh, that's a huge energy suck. Like, why do that to yourself, right? You want to have a good day too. If you have a better day, chances are your kids are going to have a better day. You're going to be a better teacher. They're going to learn more. They're going to have more fun. And it's all going to work out really well. So, thanks so much for watching. Leave comments below if you have another way of doing things. I'm open to anything. I always love to try different things and experiment a little bit. I mean, we all have so much to learn from each other. Just because I've been doing this for a long time, by no means do I know how to do everything the right way. I know how to do it my way, and I know my way works fantastic for me. I love it. I wouldn't change a thing, but I'm always willing to try something new. So, anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.